The number one thing that we're told about Genius Hour, follow what you're passionate about. The number one problem with Genius Hour and Innovation class? Knowing what you're passionate about. Okay, so today I'm going to have a talk with one of my students who also had me last year. This is Ryne. And we hit kind of a wall today with some students in that we're going to have them start looking now at potential mentors, but now is that week where they start really like outbound looking what inspires them, what do they love. And some of the students I've asked them, like, define your perfect day. And they struggled with that because I'm like, well, what time do I have to be at school? I'm like, no, it's your perfect day. It's your day. And while I love these students, I have seen with several of them, I'm like, what do you want to do? What do you love? Because in the reflections I get from everybody from the previous year, they always say the same thing. Find what you love and don't be afraid to fail. Ryan, you went through this growing pain last year. Why is it so hard for students to define what they love?
Well, the first thing is like getting out of that loop of school. Like being told what to do is what you've been told your whole life. Like you do what you're told or you get in trouble. So like only being a month in this class, it's kind of a culture shock to have that reversed completely. And a lot of people really don't know what they love, it seems like. They haven't explored it enough to know. They've been doing the same thing for a very long time and maybe they don't even love it. Like I know a lot of kids, for example, their perfect day might be after school going home and binge watching Netflix for 4 hours and then doing their homework and going to bed.
Which is a nightmare.
So, I mean, it's...
No, yeah, that's right. Well, and I think that's why I have to stay patient and stay calm is that you got a great point. A lot of students have never thought about this. They have only known do what you're told. And I think that, do you remember being that way in kindergarten though?
Do what you're told?
Yeah. Or did you have a little bit more of a free spirit in kindergarten?
I almost felt like I had more of a free spirit because I could play house or color. I didn't have to do my English assignment.
And I think that's the one thing that kills me is that sometimes our students, I have to deprogram them at the beginning of the year, and it breaks my heart because they're gauging me like, what would you want me to do, Mr. Wettrick? How are you going to be proud of this? And it's not even on their radar of what they're passionate about. So it's a little bit hard to get started with Genius Hours. And I'm telling you this as parents and as teachers, you have to be patient with them as they start to, for the first time in some cases, discover what truly makes them tick. There's different ways that we can do this. I had them go through a perfect day. I had them go through scenarios. But ultimately, it has to be them. Because I've had certain students like you tell me what to do, and I've given in at times, and I'm like, hey, work on this project. Maybe you might like it. And that doesn't usually work out as well. Tell about your breakthrough last year.
Well, so from the beginning, my passion's pretty much been video games. Like I can go more into my past if I need to, but to make a long story short, I've always played video games. It's pretty ingrained into my family and like the culture in my family. So it was something that I knew I was passionate about. I had a lot of experience in, and I knew I could most likely succeed in. So I started out with a fundraiser based around video games for kids, and from that grew into an esports program here, the first official one in the entire country. We have funding, we're an official Twitch partner now. So basically I turned my love for sitting at the computer and playing games into a potential moneymaker and career for myself.
Well, the funny thing is it started off like that was his pivot because he thought it had to be school related. He thought, like a lot of students, everything seemed to fit in the box of school. And so he started off with a video game thing for schools, which it still is technically. But he had this, and then along the way, in conversations we had one another, he started to realize like, what, you can do that? We can do that in school? So that's my challenge for you guys today. If you're working on a Genius Hour project, work with them, talk with your students, because oftentimes they've never really considered something they can do in school doesn't have to necessarily relate to school, but can relate to them being better. It can relate to their passions, because the students will always buy into what you do because you said so, but they take ownership when they find their calling and their passion. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Ryne_Haas, RYNE_HAAS, at Anchor, Ryne Haas. And
yeah,
go to my Twitter. My Twitter's
be on the lookout for our Twitch channel coming soon. All right, that's all we got time for today. This is Don Wettrick reminding you that opportunity is everywhere. And please share today's video. It's important to me. That's how we grow. See you guys.